Are you curious of what generation are you from? Do you identify as a boomer when in reality you are a millennial? Are you worried about having kids that will eventually grow up as a Gen Z lover? Today, we will be uncovering every generation from 1990 up to date. Starting on, we have the Lost Generation. If you were born between 1883 and 1900, you would have been part of what is known as the Lost Generation. Celebrating your 17th birthday during this time would have meant facing the horrors of World War I. Picture yourself in the trenches, your body covered in mud, with bombs and missiles flying overhead. This was a time when the nightmare of war was very real, and the trauma was widespread. The war claimed 8.5 million lives, and 21 million more returned home with severe injuries. The suffering didn't end with the war. The Spanish flu pandemic of 1918 struck, killing over 50 million people worldwide. A grim period, as it seemed like a relentless series of calamities. The combination of war, pandemic, and the early stages of the Great Depression, marked by rampant unemployment and deep poverty, made life incredibly tough. The name Lost Generation reflected their feelings of despair and confusion, though it's important to note that despite these challenges, individuals from this era made significant contributions. For instance, Albert Einstein developed the theory of relativity, and Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin. Next, we have the Greatest Generation. Following this, the Greatest Generation, born between 1901 and 1927, faced their own set of challenges. After World War I, the world was plunged into the Great Depression, which started with the stock market crash of October 1929. This crash wiped out millions of investments, causing the economy to plummet dramatically. Unemployment rates soared to 25%, with about 12.8 million people out of work, leading to widespread loss of savings, homes, and an increase in poverty and homelessness. The situation was dire, and just as it seemed things couldn't get worse, World War II began. This conflict was even more devastating than the first, with over 60 million people losing their lives. The war also saw the horrific Holocaust, where the Nazis killed over 6 million Jews. Survivors of this era came back with a renewed appreciation for peace and democracy. They worked hard to rebuild the economy, leading to advancements such as Alan Turing's contributions to computer science and Grace Hopper's development of the first compiler for programming languages. What a silly way to name this generation. Then, we have the Silent Generation, and I'm sorry for the dad joke, but they did speak. The Silent Generation, born from 1928 to 1945, grew up under the shadow of World War II and the Great Depression. This generation is often characterized by their strict discipline and work ethic. They experienced economic hardship and were tasked with rebuilding the world. Children from this era had to grow up quickly and take on adult responsibilities far earlier than usual. Their childhoods were shaped by a focus on survival rather than leisure. This generation earned the silent label not because they were mute, but because they were modest and tended not to complain about their circumstances. They were the last generation to experience childhood without the extensive influence of modern technology. Next came the baby boomers, born between 1946 and 1964. This generation was the product of a post-World War II world where soldiers returned home, and a surge in births followed. The baby boomers grew up in a time of great optimism and economic growth. Hospitals and nurseries were bustling, and the economy was booming. This era saw the rise of rock and roll, with figures like Elvis Presley becoming cultural icons. Baby boomers enjoyed a childhood of outdoor play, simple pleasures, and family TV shows. And even though many teenagers hate them today, everyone should really know that they grew up with the belief that they could change the world, and many did, participating in social and political movements like the fight for civil rights, women's liberation, and protests against the Vietnam War. Generation X, born between 1965 and 1980, experienced a different kind of cultural shift. Known for their independence, Gen Xers grew up with TV shows like Celebrity Deathmatch on MTV, the original Star Wars trilogy, and the looming threat of nuclear war. They were the first generation to experience a substantial amount of time without parental supervision, often coming home to empty houses. This independence fostered a sense of resourcefulness and adaptability. Gen Xers witnessed significant changes in the workforce and were early adopters of concepts like work-life balance. We have to thank them because they pioneered the idea of casual Fridays and telecommuting. Many influential tech figures like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and Jeff Bezos are part of this generation. They are characterized by their ability to balance work and play, and their familiarity with life before and after the digital revolution. Millennials, born between 1981 and 1996, also known as Generation Y, grew up during the rise of the internet and social media. This generation is highly adaptable and tech-savvy, having lived through the transition from dial-up internet to smartphones. They are known for their versatility and ability to handle rapid technological changes. Millennials are highly educated, with many encouraged by their parents to attend college. However, they face the challenge of entering the job market during or just after the Great Recession, which has contributed to stereotypes of them being lazy or entitled. In reality, they are dealing with high student loan debt and are more focused on experiences rather than material possessions. Millennials are adept at navigating both digital and real-world challenges, blending traditional values with progressive ideals. Finally, Generation Z, born from 1997 to 2012, represents the first generation to grow up with smartphones and constant internet access from a young age. They are known for their tech savviness and their ease with digital communication, often using emojis more effectively than words. Gen Z has never known a world without Google, and social media is an integral part of their lives. They are also highly aware of social issues like climate change, social justice, and mental health. This generation is skilled at multitasking and seeks efficient solutions to problems. Looking ahead, Generation Alpha, born from 2013 onwards, will be the first to be born entirely in the 21st century. They will inherit a world where technology such as AI and virtual reality is commonplace. These kids are expected to be even more tech-savvy and innovative, with advancements like Neuralink potentially changing the way we interact with technology and each other. They might experience a future with personalized jetpacks, flying cars, and even human colonies on Mars. Their childhoods will be deeply intertwined with technology, setting the stage for an even more advanced and interconnected future. In conclusion, each generation has faced unique challenges and opportunities, shaping their characteristics and contributions to the world. From the lost generation's resilience in the face of war and pandemics, to Generation Alpha's potential for technological innovation, every generation has left its mark on history. If you enjoyed diving into the fascinating evolution of generations with me, make sure to hit that like button to let me know. Next, hit that subscribe button to become part of our community. By subscribing, you'll be the first to know when we release new videos packed with insights and tips. And don't forget to click the bell icon right next to the subscribe button. This will ensure you receive notifications whenever we upload new content, so you never miss out on our latest updates and secrets. We appreciate your support and can't wait to share more with you. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.